Okay. Okay. So let's jump back into so far we talked about define, measure, analyze, improve. Let's finish that off real quick before we go on.
Sure. The last letter in the DMAIC process is C, which stands for control. So you cap off these improvement efforts with what we call a control plan. And a control plan, it does a couple of things. Number one, it gives you your specification limits that you're going to operate off now that have defined what quality is for you in that instance. So either from a personal perspective or from a production, manufacturing perspective, let's say, you've defined that if the process yields XYZ at this tolerance, then it's in control and it's operating appropriately. It's
Right.
doing what it should do. So let's take it back to the easiest thing I would say is a person's health, if we want to make it personal. And you have said, okay, my healthy weight is 180 pounds. And if I get to 180, you define a range. Maybe it's 180 to 190. Well, as soon as you hit or start creeping up towards 190, you can begin to ask, okay, what's happening here? What are we doing differently?
Mm-hmm.
Or what's happening differently? And then once you cross that 190 barrier and you hit 191, now was the second part of the control plan comes into play. Somebody rings the emergency bell, or if you were on an assembly line, you'd hit that red button and stop the assembly line and say, all right, something's wrong here. We've gone past our spec limit. And now in the control plan, it goes beyond stopping the assembly line. You know who to contact and they know immediately what to do. That's what the control plan defines. Is who's involved. We've identified that, A, we're going past our spec limit. This is no longer acceptable. Who do you call? What do you do next? And because you've gone through this whole process improvement exercise, you really already know what some of the typical issues are going to be. So you can do a real quick analysis, root cause analysis, to get this process back in control and within your specification limits. So applying it to your question initially was about how do you apply this to your personal life?